All right, let us begin our practice today. Okay, hello, hello. We're going to do a beautiful practice today, also do our sort of strengthening balance, but just think about as you're moving through the poses as we do. And again, this is your practice. So if you want to remain in your chair for the hour and just follow along and do stretches, even though some of us will stand, you can remain in your chair. That's an option. But just the whole practice and not ever pushing yourself through something that's uncomfortable, because that's not the practice. Once you feel discomfort and you're not breathing fully, then you're no longer in yoga, right? You're now trying to exercise and push through, and we don't want to do that. We want to just move with grace, yeah, in and out of the poses, and just have this be for you. So the biggest thing is you've all arrived. You've all arrived in the space for your practice today. And that's the hardest part many times, almost always, right? Is just making your way here. But you've done it. Congratulations. We're here and we're going to just join in this beautiful practice together. So sitting up nice and tall in your chair, lifting the heart slightly. So we want to not be slumping forward. Yeah. And do that. Try to keep that in mind all the time. When you're sitting, watching a movie on your TV or sitting and eating, sometimes it's a little harder because you're leaning forward to eat. But come back up to a nice tall spine. When we sit with our spine curved, we're not breathing as much. We're not allowing the food to drop down into the stomach and into the intestinal tract as well. So just sitting with a nice tall spine. Good. And then we're going to close the eyes. We're going to start with our palms up. And we're going to start with the sound of Om. We're going to do 3 Oms. The sound O, it's basically a combination of A, U, and M, Om, but it comes out Om. And that is, the Om is basically a connection. It connects us to our higher power, our higher spirituality, the divine God, whoever, your angels. It's connecting us to out of body and into the vast energy and space that we are. So let's take a cleansing breath in through your nose and then breathe it out your mouth. Good. And now take a breath in for the sound of Om. As you breathe out, just Om, as long as you can, just say that sound as you breathe out. Extend the sound as long as you can, and then relax. Good. And then again, let's take another long, deep breath in. And breathe out with the Om. Om. Feel the vibrations of the sound, and we'll do one more. So taking a nice big deep breath in through the nose and exhale. Om. And relax. And again, just notice, feel the vibrations. And now either keeping the palms up on your lap where they are, keeping your eyes closed, or bringing the palms down on your lap. See what feels better for you today. Just have your hands where they feel comfortable. And we're going to do some box breathing with our belly. Yeah. So box meaning we're going to breathe in for a count. We're going to hold it for a count. We're going to breathe out longer for a count and hold. And relaxing the breath or belly as you breathe in. Yeah. So let's just begin by taking a nice big breath in, relax the belly, feel the belly rise. but nice and easy, nothing straining. Hold the breath for as long as it feels comfortable for you. And then through the nose, breathe out, relax, and then draw the belly back in gently to squeeze out all the air. And then pause. And we'll do a couple with counts together. So let's breathe in, 2, 3, 4, belly relaxed, hold, 2, 3, 4, and then breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, 2. So take your own count for 3 more rounds. Take a breath in. Again, relaxing the belly. We want to fill the lungs as full as we can. Hold that breath, but relax the shoulders as you're holding. Take the strain out. And then when you need to, breathe out slowly through the nose. And try to extend the exhale breath longer than the inhale breath. And then just hold for a second or 2. Continue on, 2 more rounds. Maybe bringing a little smile to your face, filling your body, your lungs, all the cells of your body with oxygen and energy, prana energy. And noticing when you do exhale, how the body relaxes. One more breath. As you breathe in, you're energizing the body, filling it with oxygen, and energy. And then when you're exhaling, you're relaxing the body and then getting rid of the toxic air in the body and the lungs. And just on your next exhale breath, no hurry. Just relax your breath and come to a natural breath. And remain with your eyes closed here for a little bit longer. And now just notice your natural breath, the natural rhythm of your breath. And observe if that breath is just naturally a little bit slower and deeper. So when we practice conscious breathing, over time, it creates a rhythm in your breath naturally, not thinking about it. And now when you feel ready and complete, you can gently flutter the eyes open. I mean, for me, in this yoga practice, at the beginning, this breath, this breathing, this conscious breathing, because we can do that anywhere. We can do that if we are riding in a car, if we are laying in a bed, if we are happen to be in the hospital for a little stint, we have our breath with us. And that breath, our breath is completely controlling our emotions. Yeah. And as human beings, we get our emotions first, and then our breath reacts to that. So if we're crazy, we're all upset, we're fearful, we're not breathing, right? The breath is like, okay, all right. But if we can flip that and say, all right, I'm going to have my breath dictate my emotions. When we do that, it will calm those emotions down. It'll bring you into more of a state of homeostasis, right? Feeling better, feeling more joy, feeling relaxed. Yeah, breath, we have that power. It's in us. It's not a prescription. We don't have to go get a prescription for the breath. We have it. Okay. So let's scoot forward in our chair just a little bit. Good. And then find that nice tall spine. Good. And we're going to just work a little bit on our neck area, upper head area. So taking your right hand and bringing it to the side of your head. Good. And then as you push the palm into your head, push your head into the palm of your hand. Yeah, good. And you feel that little bit of muscles getting tightened here. Good. And then release. And then take your other hand and push The head into the hand into the head. Good. And then take that hand and bring it to the forehead and press your forehead into your hand into your head. And then back of the head. Press the head back. Good. And release. Relax. Shake out the hands. Hands on your lap. Again, so there's a science called Jin Shin, and it's about energy points, much like acupuncture points, you know, much like mudras and chakra points and nadi points in yoga. Right at the base of the neck. So we're going to take our hands and we're going to bring your fingers, the pads of your fingers, at the very bottom of your neck, right above your shoulder blades. And this is an energy point that helps us to just bring relaxation. So you're not pressing too hard, you're just gently holding the energy point. Yeah. And then feel free to close your eyes here. So this energy point here sends a message to just unload, right? To unload the burdens of life. Yeah. Our worry, our negative thinking, just to let that go, to unload that. Yeah. Also helps us to bring balance. It's about justice here. Doing justice for ourselves and others. And just a calming and focusing on the good. Focusing on balance. Life is all about balance. Okay. And then when you're ready, you can flutter your eyes open. So great. So if you're feeling, you know, again, pretty easy to do, right? Just hold. You've got your little back here, you know, and then you can start to massage that area, massage your neck, massage the top of your shoulders. Yeah, and just allow yourself, heal yourself. Yeah, good. All right, and then release the hands down and shake it out. Good. All right, we're gonna roll the shoulders. Allow them to relax, roll them the opposite direction. Good. And then we're going to bring the shoulders up to our ears, press down into your feet, almost as if you want to stand up as you reach the shoulders up, and then exhale, relax them down. Press into your feet, inhale up, and exhale down. Now we're just going to double time here. We're just going to lift the shoulders and drop, and lift and drop. Nice and easy. Breathing through the nose. Yeah, good. And relax. Then we're going to lift our elbows up and we're just going to pump our elbows. Yeah, just sort of starting to open up our chest, our heart. Yeah. And then again, heart is lifted, looking straight ahead. And then you can experiment if you want to with maybe bringing the arms up a little higher. And if that's not feeling good, sometimes it feels better. And just finding a sweet spot, yeah. Maybe the sweet spot is arms a little lower. Yeah. Just play around with that. Nice and easy though, no discomfort in the shoulders. Good. And then release, relax, roll it out in one direction, roll it out in another direction. Yeah, hands on our lap. Again, finding that tall spine. Take a nice big breath in, and as you exhale, drop your chin to your chest. Good. And then as you inhale, roll your chin up towards your right shoulder. And exhale, drop it down. And then inhale, roll your chin up to the left shoulder. Exhale, drop it down. Now we're going to do little circles with our chin. So inhale, roll your chin up to your right shoulder, and then start to lift it up. Lift the head up, bring it up, and then over to the left, and drop your chin back down. So we're just doing a little bit different head circles here. leading with our chin. So bringing your attention to your chin and just do a couple slow circles with, almost like you have a marker on the edge of your chin and you're making a circle in front of your head. Next time that the head comes forward, down, and pause, and then reverse your chin circles to the left and up and over to the right and down. And notice how your neck feels today. Just noticing if there's any little really tight spots, you want to slow down there. Yeah. And one more. Just enjoying the stretch in the neck. Next time the head comes forward, pause and slowly lift the head back up. Good. All right, find your tall spine. We're going to reach the arms forward, bring your hands into a fist, and let's just make some nice little fist circles. Oh man, my hands are sore today for some reason. This is great for the top of your hands. Stretching the top of your hands, the top of your wrists. And then at some point, pause and reverse. Go the other direction. And giving some love to the top of your hands and top of your wrists. Good. And then bringing your hands into prayer position. We're going to lift the elbows here. So you're gently pressing into your palms. And the palms are away from your body. They're not resting on your chest. Good. And then relax the shoulders here. And then just bringing your prayer hands, bringing the fingers forward and down. And then inhale, bringing the fingers up and in towards your heart. Yeah. Inhale up. So you take this as far as you want to, bringing it forward and down. And then inhale up and bringing your fingers in and down. Good. Forward and up and down. One more. Forward, up, and in towards your heart. Yeah. And then bringing your fingers back up and release the elbows. Interlace your hands and just roll your hands. Stretch your hands. Nice and easy. Good. And shake out your fingers. Flop them around. Relax your fingers like they're little wet noodles and flop them around. Good. And then bringing your hands onto your thighs. Again, you're scooted forward in your chair here. Hands down on your thighs. And a little cat-cow here. So inhale, feel your chest lift as if you have a string on your heart. Look up to where the ceiling meets the wall. Yeah. And then exhale, slide your hands forward to the front of your knees. Drop your head, stretch your shoulders forward. Press into your feet. Inhale, slide your hands up your thighs, all the way up. Reach your elbows back, lift your heart, look up. Open your heart. Yeah, we need to be heart-centered in our society always, especially now. Slide your hands forward, hands to the front of your knees, drop your head. Yeah, just no hate, just sending out love. Yeah. And the crazier things get, and now just come back up, straight up to center. Good. All right. We're going to extend our right leg forward. Yeah. And you can situate your hips so that you're comfortable underneath that right thigh. Good. Inhale, nice tall spine. Lift the heart, look up. And then keep that heart lifted. Keep looking up. Exhale, hinge forward at your hips, almost like you want to lay your belly onto the top of your thighs. Yeah, good. Just go as far as is comfortable on that leg, and then look down at the floor. And do a couple breaths here. Good. Stretching that lower leg. And then pressing down into your left foot, slowly bring your body back up. Good. And then help to rebend that right knee. Good. And now we're going to clasp behind that right knee. And on an inhale breath, we're going to hug the thigh into your belly. Shoulders are stretching back and down. Good. Let's do a couple circles with our feet. All right. And then if it's available to you, we're just going to do a sciatic stretch. So taking the foot to the outside of this left leg. Good. And then either keeping your hands underneath your knees and stretching that right upper leg over to the left. Yeah, if you want, sometimes it's a little deeper if you clasp your hands in front on your shin, hug your leg in a little further, and then slide that right leg over till you start feeling a nice stretch in that big nerve, that big sciatic nerve, and that glute. Yeah, good. And breathe. Good. Each time you exhale, can you scoot it over a little more? Maybe, maybe not. Good. And then when you're ready on the exhale breath, just let your legs cross, that leg cross over. Good. And if that's not comfortable for you, cross at your ankles. Good. Relax. Hands down. Good. Roll out the shoulders. Good. Take a nice big deep breath in. Let's lift our arms forward and up. And then as you exhale, feel the shoulders melt down. And then press into that left foot to turn the body over to the right. And release your arms down. So the forearm of the left hand pressing against the right thigh, the right palm pressing down behind your right hip on your chair. Take a breath in and just press down into that right palm a little bit. Let the spine grow tall. And as you exhale, press into that left forearm or hand to turn and look over your right shoulder. Keep your chin parallel to the floor. Find that belly breath. So as you breathe in, relax the belly. As you breathe out, the belly draws in. Good. Almost like a little low intestine massage. We're also just stretching and giving our spine a gentle twist. Yeah. On the side, we're massaging out the stomach, the spleen. Good. And then as you exhale, relax the whole body. Good. Slowly turn your head forward. Slowly bring your body back forward. Good. And then release. Good. And we're just going to do that same. You wiggle out your legs. Just let the muscles just relax. Yeah. And then extend the left heel forward. Nice tall spine. Lift your chest. Look up slightly to where the ceiling maybe meets the wall. Take a nice big breath in. And as you exhale, start to hinge forward. Lead with your body, your belly rather. Yeah, and your body, but lead with the belly till you come as far as is comfortable and then looking down. This is a nice stretch for the hamstring. It can also be a nice stretch, gentle stretch for your low back. If you have any discomfort in your low back, that means you've gone too far, so back out. Now find your breath. And each time you exhale, allow your body to melt a little bit further forward. The breath take you deeper. Good. And now on an inhale breath, press down into your standing foot. Slowly bring your body back up. And then take your hands and help to rebend that left knee. Clasping behind the left knee now. On an inhale breath, squeeze that thigh into your belly. Let's give a couple of circles of the foot. One direction, other direction. And then that little sciatic stretch on this side. So just gently crossing that foot over and hugging the thigh in closer. Again, you can transition to interlacing at your shin and hugging that leg in. Wherever you are is perfect. Take a breath in and exhale, just glide that leg over to the right, that left leg, till you're finding a stretch. Yeah, good. And breathe. And smile. Yeah, make sure you can completely breathe deeply. Good. You can, again, also you can cross at your ankles as we release. So you're either crossed at your legs or your ankles. Here. Good. Relax your arms down. Good. Find your nice tall spine. Press into your right foot as you lift your arms up. Again, very gracefully. Big breath in, exhale, relax your shoulders. And then slowly start to pivot over to the left at your waist, turning at your waist, pressing into your right foot, and then release. Yeah, your hands down. So now the right forearm is pressing into the left thigh. The left palm is resting on your chair right behind your left hip. And inhale, breath, gently press your left hand onto your chair, lengthen your spine. Just gently. As you exhale, relax and turn and look over the left shoulder now and breathe. And that belly breath, breathing in, let the belly relax. Breathing out, draw the belly in, maybe turn a little more. And one more breath here. And then exhale, relax the body, slowly turn the head back forward. Slowly turn the body back forward. Good. And then we're going to just unhook. Yeah. And wiggle it out. Wiggle out your shoulders, your head, roll your shoulders. Wherever you feel like you might have picked up a little tension, just let gentle movement melt that away. Yeah. And all this squeezing stuff is also good. Springtime's a good detox. Times for detoxification. Yeah. So drinking a lot of water, eating light, and because we're starting to move now, taking walks, we're starting to wake up. Yeah. Good. After a long slumber in the winter. All right. Let's make ourselves up, take ourselves up to a stand if you'd like. Again, I like to slide either my heels back or bring one foot in front of the other. You want a nice tall spine, right? You're in the front of your chair. We're going to hinge forward. Good. And then on a nice big inhale breath, press into your feet to bring yourself up. And let's find ourselves, find our chair. You can scoot it forward, scoot it off to the side. Good. And we're just going to move. Yeah. Shake it out, move, however you feel like moving. Yeah, good. Yeah, we've been sitting for a little bit, so move the shoulders, kick the legs. Good. And come to a nice stand. Good. All right. So finding our Tadasana, our mountain pose. Nice tall spine, kneecaps lifted, shoulders back and down. Good. We're going to take in 3 sips of breath. Big breath in, and then we're going to let it out and just let our body loosely relax and let the breath out. Yeah. All right. So inhale, bring your arms forward. Inhale a little bit more, and inhale even more, and then exhale it out. So inhale, this is through the nose. Inhale, inhale, and with a ha, you can just let it out. And inhale, 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 and exhale. And one more. Inhale, 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 and exhale. Good. And relax, coming back to Tadasana. All right, we're gonna go back to that SEL 11 here, that energy point that helps to bring in the calm and the balance and justice for all. Yeah, thought it would be a good one today and every day. So we're going to inhale our arms up. Yeah, and then we're going to bend at the elbows, and again, bring your fingertips to that area just above your shoulders at the base of the neck. It's just around that area. Good. And then once there, see if you can just lift your elbows up as high as is comfortable. Good. And then tendency here is to poke your rib cage out. So drop the lower rib cage. Yeah. And we're going to take a few breaths here. So breathing in, big breath in, pause the breath, breathe out, draw your belly back. Breathe in, reach those elbows up. Pause and breathe out longer. Pause. Just imagine as you're breathing in now, that the breath is going all the way down to the very bottom lobes of your lungs. And then the breath is swirling around in there. And then breathing out the stale air. Yeah. And one more. Breath in. Pause. Feel the lungs expand. And exhale. Yeah, and relax. It's a kind of a lungy time of year, this spring, with allergies and things like that. Shake it out. So it's really good to expand the lungs. As I've said many times, the bigger blood vessels are at the lower part of our lungs, right? And so when we breathe shallow, we're not only not taking in very much oxygen, but we're also just going to the smaller blood vessels, and they're getting as much oxygen. When we go to those big blood vessels, all that oxygen's going into those bigger blood vessels and then dispersing out through our whole body. Yeah, and so we just feel more awake and alert, and it's just so much more healthful for us. Yeah, good. We are our own, our own healer for sure. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to come into a hamstring stretcher. You can either have the back of your chair handy or hands on hips. There's going to be hinging forward halfway. We're going to get a nice hamstring stretch. So we're going to start with bringing one foot in front of the other. So this is actually a balance pose too, because whenever we're not standing in with our joints stacked, the brain is like, okay, what's going on here? Yeah, good. So as we start to talk about balance here, there's the thing called polypharmacy, and that's when you're on 4 or more pharmaceutical medications, right? And medications, as many of you might have experienced, when you go on, your body is adjusting to what is this? What's going on here? So it can cause us to get a little bit less stable, right? So when we practice these balance poses, sending that signal, the brain is split second always sending signals to our muscles. Yeah, so let's start here. I'll stop talking. Take a nice big breath in, lift the heart, look up. Good. And now as you exhale, it's almost like your fingers are gliding your hips back. You're hinging. Again, keep the gaze forward so you're not rounding your back. You're just hinging forward with a straight spine. Now, tendency is to lock up that right knee, get a little bend in the right knee, and then bring your gaze towards the floor. Good. Take a breath in here. And as you exhale, see if you can drop your left hip and reach your right hip up slightly to flatten your sacrum. And breathe. Nice big breath. And as you exhale, see if you can hinge a little further forward. Again, don't lock up that right knee. Yeah. And breathe. Good. And then pressing down into your hips now to come out. As you press down, start to float your upper body back up. That pressing down into your hips actually helps to lighten the load of your body coming back up. Good. And then you can either step back or step forward to bring your feet back to hip distance apart. Good. And shake it out. Wiggle out your fingers. Yeah. Flop them around. And we'll go to the other side now. So left foot forward, right foot back, or the opposite foot of what you just did. Yeah. And again, make sure that you feel nice and stable. Yeah. So that may mean widening your stance. Typically narrowing your stance is a lot more of a challenge. Yeah. Hands up back onto your hips. Again, you can use the chair and come forward and that way as well. Good. Take a nice big breath in, lift the heart. And as you exhale, send your hips back. Start to hinge forward. Keep looking forward as you're coming down so that you don't round your spine. And then soften that left knee. Bring the gaze towards the floor. Find your breath. Good. On an inhale breath, see if you can lift your left hip up and drop your right hip. again, to try to even out that sacrum. Good. And just a couple breaths here. A little bit of an inversion. Nice hamstring stretch, glute stretch. Good. Actually, also a good Achilles stretch. Good. Now on an inhale breath, press down into your hips as you slowly float the body back up. Good. All right. And then just on an inhale breath, bring your feet back to hip distance apart. Shake it out, flop your fingers around, open and close your hands, get the blood flow back into your fingers. Yeah, good. All right, you may need your chair if you don't have your chair in front of you, right? You're gonna do a little side bend, but with a balance. And again, when we practice these balances, again, get the brain to send those split-second signals to the muscles. And of course, as we get older, those signals get slower. So the more we practice, it will keep, if we use it, we won't lose it. So use it and don't lose it. All right, so just simply, we're going to bring our legs now together. So again, we're sort of off our center, right? Our joints are not quite stacked. So the brain is having to accommodate, right? Send signals to tell the body what to do. All right, so you can, either have hands off if you're feeling nice and steady still. Yeah, or hands can be on the back of your chair. Good. And then we're simply gonna, on an inhale breath, reach the right arm out and up. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, stretch up a little more. Yeah, reach for the sky with those right fingertips. And then inhale. And as you exhale, reach up and lean over. Good. And now to add to a little neck stretch and a little bit more of a balance challenge, feel free to turn and look underneath or towards the right. And breathe. Good. And now if you're feeling really steady and stable, feel free to soften your eyes or even close your eyes. Yeah. And then you might experience wobbling. Wobbling is good. That's basically those signals I was talking about, the brain saying, hey, whoop, here, you need to kick in here to keep this body up. Yeah. Simple, right? But really powerful. Good. And now if your eyes are closed, flutter them open. Slowly bring your head, your gaze back forward. And then pressing down into your toes on an inhale breath, reach your fingers up. And exhale, float your arm down. Good. And relax your shoulders. That feels so good, doesn't it? Roll up the shoulders. Good. All right. Let's just bring our feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. We'll get to the other side. I didn't forget, but if I did, somebody remind me. And soften your knees. Good. And then let's just inhale to one side and exhale to the other. Let's do our side to side. Just loosening up the body. Getting rid of the stress. The tension. The fear. Just side to side, loosen it up. Good. And slowly come back to middle, center. Yeah. Step your feet back to hip distance apart. And now let's step them all the way together on this side. Yeah. Nice tall spine. So when we have good posture, that will help us with our balance in everything we do, as we walk, as we stand, lifting, having that good posture. This is also something fun to do just while you're standing at your sink, or if you're standing and brushing your teeth. Simply having your legs together, pressing your legs together, that's a good, getting that brain connection, the split second happening quicker. Inhale, reach the left arm out and up. Take a nice big breath in. As you exhale, stretch up. Stretch those left fingertips up as long as you can. And then take a breath in. And as you exhale, reach up and lean over. Good. And again, here, you can have options, right? You can turn and look and turn your head to the left if you're feeling steady and stable. You can even soften your eyes as if you're looking through your eyelashes. And start there. And if that's working, maybe you close the eyes. And again, feeling that little bit of wobble. Yeah, that's good work. Good stability work. Good balance work. Okay. And then if you had your eyes closed, slowly open the eyes. Slowly bring your head forward. Good. Press into your toes on an inhale breath, reach your arm up. And as you exhale through a bent elbow, yeah, just let the arm float down. Good. And roll it out. Yeah, one direction, roll it out the other direction. Good. All right, bringing your legs a little bit wider apart, hands on your hips, soften your knees. Good. We're gonna do figure eights. So that's even brain work, right? We're gonna do a figure eight, imagine with your hips. Yeah. So bringing your belly forward and maybe over to the right, and then send your hips back a little bit, and then bringing the belly back forward and over to the left and back. So just picturing that figure eight. Now try to smoothly and gracefully just do little figure eights or a little bit bigger figure eights, however you're feeling. Yeah, in that pattern. Yeah, so when we're moving our body with a pattern, that's also igniting those signals to the brain. Yeah. Good. And then when we come back, just come back to center. Good. Bringing our feet back to hip distance apart. Good. Roll it out. All right. So we're going to come into a little, again, a really good moving the body differently than the brain, right? So that's going to help again with that signaling. So we've done this before, we'll do it again. So we're just gonna start to march. Yeah, just like we're taking a walk. Again, nice tall spine, good posture, shoulders gently back and down, arms moving along with the body, with the march. All those things help us to stay upright, help us to stack our joints, to relieve some joint pain. Yeah, good. All right. And now we're going to start, we're going to pause. And now we're going to march with our hands and our feet at the same cadence, right? So let's just start tapping as we march, hands and feet, same cadence. So probably many of you remember, okay, now I know what we're doing here. Yeah. So good. We're marching along. Yes. Good. And now we're going to add a little bit of a challenge. We're going to continue the march with our legs, same cadence, but we're going to double time our hands. All right, we're ready? Let's go. So tapping your hands, double time, but the feet still stay slow. Yeah, tap, tap, tap. Faster, faster, faster. Yeah. And now go back to the same cadence. Hands and feet. Okay, now you probably know what's coming next, right? Now the hands are going to stay stable and we're going to double time our legs. Yeah, right? Ready? Whenever you're ready, begin. So feet are double timed, but hands are not. Hands are nice and slow. Feet are fast, maybe a little faster. Keep the hands going slow. Tendency here is to try to match it. The brain is like, okay, what are we doing here? I got it. And come back to regular cadence. Yeah. So that's something to play with. If you think of it. Hopefully some of these things, I really encourage you sometimes during class, have a pad of paper. And if there's something that resonates with you to say, oh, I know this could be really helpful for me, then write it down and just have little notes. Oh, I remember that pose. And when you feel like it, like just some days you're like, I don't have a whole lot to do. I don't have a lot of errands to run. Maybe I'll do 5 or 10 minutes of a couple of those poses that we do in yoga. And then you'll find over time, you'll develop a practice for yourself, right? Which is great. I mean, I love having practice. I love doing it together. There's a lot of good energy to that, but it's really nice to do it together, but also to have your own practice. Good. All right. So feet hip distance apart, hands on our thighs. Yeah. How's your heart rate? Is it starting to come back down? Let's just take a nice big breath in and let it out. Good. Let's take another breath in. And as we exhale, we're going to start to slide our hands down towards our knees. Good. Sending your hips back. This is like a little baby squat. And, you know, when we can do a squat, you know, keeping those countries and things where people squat a lot, either in how they go to the bathroom or in the fields or how they just sit instead of a chair. They live a lot longer and their joints are a lot looser. Anyway, so we're going to do that a little bit. Good. Let's do a figure 8 with our knees while they're here. And so again, finding that a little figure 8, tiny little figure 8 with your knees. If that's not feeling good, then just do circles. Just doing a tiny figure 8 here. Good. And one more. And relax and press down into your feet, down into your toes. Slowly let the body come back up. Nice and easy. Good. And relax. Good. Feet planted on the floor, hip distance apart. Good. Do a nice little back bend for our back. On an inhale breath, reach your arms forward and up. Good. Take a nice big breath in. As you exhale, stretch your fingers up towards the sky. Press down into your feet. Yeah. And now inhale, reach up, and exhale, look up and maybe lean back just a little bit. Looking up towards the ceiling. And breathe. Good. And then inhale, bring the body back up. On an exhale breath, bring your arms into cactus pose. Good. And again, take a breath in, lift your heart and look up. Exhale it out. Inhale. And as you exhale, maybe lean back slightly in your cactus pose. Yeah, opening up. Back bends help us to create energy. A little bit of heat. It's a chilly day. Yeah, and also uplift us. Smile on the face enhances that serotonin release. Inhale, slowly come back up. Good. And then exhale, let the arms flow down. Great. Good. And then just one more tiny little back bend here. Shake it out. Slide your hands back. Interlace your hands behind your hips. So this is my favorite way to stand during the course of your day. You can do the legs together, brushing your teeth. And when you're standing, if you're not using your hands, clasp them behind your hips. And what that does is it opens up that lung capacity, right? So just because it brings the shoulders back, it lifts the heart slightly. Yes, spine is nice and straight. And so as you're gazing and talking to somebody, or just standing, or if you're watching a movie, every now and then stand up and just do this. Take a few nice deep breaths here. Again, imagining relax the belly and then draw the belly back. And just opening and oxygenating your body and releasing the toxins of the stale air that has been used up in your lungs. Yes, you want to squeeze that out. And a smile on your face. I guarantee you do this for a minute or two and you will feel better. And then relax and shake it out. Good work. Nice, nice. All right. Let's make our way back to our chairs. Good. We're going to sit down in chair, but go through chair pose first. And let's do that with bringing our legs together again, squeezing our legs together. Good. All right, if you want, if this feels okay on your body. So take a breath here. As you exhale, squeeze your legs together as you send your hips back. Squeezing your legs, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Yeah, this helps to support the joints. Good. See how you like it? Yeah. Lift the heart. Maybe bring your hands onto your thighs. Coming into a little chair pose before we sit down. Good. And then releasing your gaze back down. Take a breath in. Exhale, squeeze your legs together. You can grab the front of your chair and find your hips landing. Yeah. I forget about that one. And sometimes, when you do that, because when you sit down, sometimes that hurts your knees, right? It hurts your back a little bit. But, having the legs stabilized sometimes is a nice way. And it's also good muscles because it really starts to send brain signals to send oxygen to these big muscles here. Yeah. So stay scooted forward in your chair. Good. Relax the legs. Good. All right, and we're just gonna end here, well, with a couple stretches, and then we'll go into a nice Shavasana. Time has just flown, hasn't it? Good. So nice tall spine. Again, hands either down or up on your lap. Take a breath in and exhale, drop your chin to your chest. Keep your shoulders reaching back. Feel that stretch down the spine. Good. And then feel free to float your eyes closed if you'd like. We're going to just rotate our head now, top of our head. So inhale, roll the head over to the right, up and back just slightly, and then over to the other side and forward. So making slow, mindful, graceful head circles here. Anytime we have our eyes closed, we're challenging our balance. Next time that the head comes forward, pause, and then slowly opposite direction. Here. Notice your neck, notice the muscles in your neck. Sometimes I play around with different pillows to sleep on. And then I'll do this in the morning just as a litmus test to say, how did that pillow do on my neck? And I used a new one last night. Press down into your feet now, slowly bring your head back up. And my neck doesn't have any kinks in it today. So I'm thinking, it's probably the right pillow. I'll try that one for a while. I don't know. I know many people, but that dipsy doodle with their bed and their pillow and all of that stuff. And it's just keep experimenting. Yeah. All right, so coming into a yoga nidra. So relax the arms down, glide your hands back just slightly, bend your elbows, bring your hands behind your hips. Grab onto your right wrist with your left hand. Yeah, good. And then see if you can stretch, if you have room behind you to stretch your arms, your elbows a little longer. Good. On an inhale breath, lift your chest, look up. And then as you exhale, start to hinge forward at your hips. Just let the body fall forward. Stretch your right arm back as you come forward. And breathe. Nice long, slow, deep breaths. Now on an inhale breath, press into your feet. Slowly bring your body back up. Good. And release your hands from behind you. And just wiggle out your body. Wiggle it out. Legs. You can just move it around with an intention to just loosen the body. Just let all the tension release from your muscles, even your toes. Wiggle your toes. Yeah, wiggle your fingers. Close your eyes and wiggle around if you'd like. Yeah. And then let's find stillness. Sitting all the way back into your chair. Find your position for Shavasana now. If you're staying in your seat, you want your feet planted on the floor. And again, bringing the palms up or down on your thighs. Yeah, if you're laying on the floor, legs apart a little bit, arms away from the body a little bit. Just find your resting place here. And then relax. Take just 2 or 3 gentle, slow belly breaths. So breathing in, relax the belly, let it puff up. Pause the breath. And as you breathe out fully, let the belly draw back, squeeze the stale air. Yeah, and pause. Do a couple more at your own pace. Pausing at the top and the bottom. Exhale breath, relaxing the body. Next breath out, just relax the breath. Bring a gentle little smile to your face. Take a breath in and let it go. Let the shoulders relax, the arms, the neck relax, fingers, belly, your legs, toes, nothing to do now, no place else to be, but right here in this moment. Um, in the stillness. Notice how you feel. And feel free to remain here for however long you like. Should you choose to come back into this space, into this time, begin to notice the sounds around you. Outside sounds, inside sounds. Just simply noticing your environment. Take a breath in and let go. Begin to wiggle toes and fingers, just gently, gracefully waking yourself slowly back up. And take a nice big deep breath in and let go of any last bits of tension you might be holding. Just let it go. Bringing your hands into Anjali Mudra prayer position, resting your thumbs onto your beautiful heart, your beautiful, kind heart. Take a nice big breath in, fill the belly, the heart. As you exhale, bow your forehead to your fingertips, relax your shoulders. And we will close practice today with this. We can only be said to be alive in those moments when our hearts are conscious of our treasures. Thornton Wilder. We can only be said to be alive in those moments when our hearts are conscious of our treasures. When you're feeling ready and complete, at your own pace, gently begin to flutter the eyes open as you lift your head. And I thank you all for coming and taking care of yourself, which takes care of the world. Have an amazing rest of your day. Stay cozy. Namaste.